I leave y'all for a few days without any episodes, and the NBA completely just goes bananas. We're going to talk about everything going on with Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, all the latest. We're going to talk about all that. Then we're going to end it on some actual basketball talk, talking about the players that I think are at the forefront of the Most Improved Player of the Year award race early in the season. We'll talk about all those things and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. So, early yesterday, Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups were both arrested on federal charges of gambling. Now, it has come out that they have been arrested on separate but related things, and there's a lot to kind of all break down for this. I know we're only going to do so good of a job when it comes down to it, but we're going to do our best to talk about it. There's a lot of information. I do suggest that everybody go out and look at this themselves. So the first thing, let's start with Chauncey Billups, right? He was charged with wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering in connection with a mafia-backed poker rigging, right? And basically, Billups in this case is looked at somebody who's actually he's setting up schemes involving inside information. Reportedly he called a game against the Chicago Bulls and caused them to lose. And so there's a lot of different counts in regards to this, right? Again, it's really weird, right? He was arrested in Oregon. So again, linked to a separate betting scheme, but related in some ways, right? And so as it stands right now, each count that Chauncey Billups is facing, each carries its own maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. This comes from the U.S. Attorney Diane Hugh, who's overlooking this. He is scheduled to appear in federal court in Brooklyn on November 24th. So exactly a month from today is when November. Yeah, exactly a month from today, right? So apparently it's like it says that Billups allegedly told Better that multiple Blazer starters would miss a March 24th game against the Chicago Bulls. Hate that the Bulls had to be mentioned in this. 4 regular Portland starters did not play as the Trailblazers lost by 28 points, right? Now, he is not named in the sports betting indictment. He's the description is co-conspirator 8, aligns with him with his playing and coaching career, so there you go there. In the poker case, right, which is another one, Billups and Damon Jones are accused of losing their celebrity status to lure victims into rigged games backed by mafia families, right? The operation allegedly employed shuffling machines that read cards, hidden cameras in chip trays, special contact lenses, and x-ray. This sounds like something out of James Bond is what this sounds like, right? Reportedly, Billups serves as the face in the scheme, and he participated in rigged Las Vegas game in April 2019 that defrauded victims of at least $50,000. He wired $50,000 following another rigged game in October of 2020. To believe that Chauncey Billups did what the federal government is accusing him of is to believe that he would risk his Hall of Fame legacy, his reputation, and his freedom. That's what his attorney, Chris Haywood, did say. So this is major. You have a sitting NBA head coach that is indicted in a long-running scheme that has mafia ties on top of that. And what this sounds like to me, this is the speculation part, that maybe they're trying to get a RICO going on. And, the federal government already has an amazing case, right? Or track record. When they get to the place of filing charges, usually their conviction rate is pretty high at that point in time. Like, the federal government takes their time to really build these cases before they make movement on them to make sure that they're going to get their guys. And this just seems crazy. Now, for what it's worth, Tiago Splitter has been named as the interim head coach, as the NBA has put Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups both on leave during this. But the Portland Trailblazers is a team that you look at their first game and how well that game went for them. And that this is a team that's trying to now make the playoffs in this year with this young roster. To have this around is a huge distraction, and it's crazy. But that's what it is with Chauncey Billups. Again, he's placed on leave as it stands right now, and that's just what we know. The NBA in a statement said this: "We're in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains. a top priority. Bans could come to this. If it comes down to Chauncey Billups as a head coach set players to help an illegal gambling stream ran by the mafia, he's done. He is going to get banned from the NBA. There's no way around that. That's my belief. Again, not reporting on that, but that is my belief. He will get banned from the NBA. Now, let's switch to Terry Rozier. Right. In regards to Terry Rozier, in this, he was also arrested Thursday morning in Orlando and charged with participating in a legal sports betting scheme that used non-public NBA information to gain an advantage. Federal prosecutors described the case as insider trading for professional basketball, alleging players intentionally removed themselves from contests to benefit gamblers' bets. It's bad when it comes down to this one. Reportedly, before a March 23rd game in 2023 against the New Orleans Pelicans, Rozier allegedly told childhood friend Denero Laster that he would remove himself in the first quarter due to a supposed injury. Laster allegedly sold the information for two bettors for approximately $100,000. The bettors and their network of proxy bettors wagered hundreds of thousands of dollars on Rozier's unders. Rozier exited after 9 minutes with 5 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds, allowing many bets to win. So, hey, there you go on that. Reportedly, he also paid for Lester to travel to Philadelphia to collect proceeds for the scheme as well. Again, much like with Chauncey Billups, if this is found to be true, if this is found to be real, I do think a ban is going to come. That's just what I think. I think a ban is going to come because of it, and he will not be able to return back to the NBA. And Rozier, there's reportedly some out that the Miami Heat could get out of that contract and void that contract if this is true. Now, I don't know if this is going to reach a resolution at the point where they're going to be able to do that with Terry Rozier's contract or whatever else it is, but the Miami Heat were already looking to get out of Rozier's contract. This could give them a little bit of a way to get there. This is wild, is what this is. This is a wild set of circumstances that the NBA now finds themselves in. And at a time where the season started, and the season has started amazingly well. You look at that opening game that we started off the season with the Rockets and the Thunder. It's been great games every night since then. And so now the NBA is brought up in so much scandal between this and the Kawhi Leonard thing. You also got some Adam Silver stuff going on, like in him and his awareness of some things going on in the Kawhi case. So, like, it's just this whole thing. And I'm somebody who, I like to talk sports. I love to talk sports. And I love to talk the actual game. I love breaking stuff down. I love my Synergy account where I can get in there. And I really sat there with this and was like, do I really want to cover this? And unfortunately, because I come down with, I say this is the number one spot for everything basketball related, this is basketball related. And I have to talk about this. Now, I'm going to release another video later on today because I want to talk about the Warriors. I want to talk about some other things to kind of balance the basketball talk. But this is a legitimate thing, and it's frustrating. But we'll see where it ends up going. Man, this sucks. That's what this is. This definitely sucks. But just to have some actual basketball talk on this episode, I want to talk about the players that are right now the betting favorite for most improved player of the year. There are 4 players that are listed as the favorite right now. Amen Thompson is number 1 on that list. He's listed as one of the favorites. And don't get me wrong, Amen Thompson is great. And the 18 points that he scored in the Rockets opening game against the Thunder was great. The defense that he played on Shea for about 2.5 quarters was really good too. And Amen is a player that also, I think, is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. But it's no doubt that he is now thrust into a situation where his skill set is even more needed by this Houston Rockets team. And a lot of people are already looking at Amen to ascend to eventually be the Rockets' best player. So him being on that list is great. Then there are 2 players on the Indiana Pacers as well, Ben Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard. Now, both these guys are thrust in kind of more of a prominent role because of the injury to Tyrese Halliburton. We already know Rick Carlisle said very early on that Ben Mathurin was going to be starting, and for that, Ben Mathurin responded with a 36-point, 11-rebound game where he shot 47% from the field in the Pacers' opening game, and so that was a great game to see from Ben Mathurin, right? That 36 points. He did have 6 personal fouls, so he did foul out of that game, but shooting 37% from 3, all those type of things. It's really good to see from Ben Mathurin. And both these players being in most improved player talks or betting odds, it makes sense because you're looking at either one of those guys taking a step. Now, Nembhard is now listed as a game time decision. He is dealing with an injury, so we'll see what ends up happening with that, right? Which could, especially in this race, it could push him too far back to where he's not able to really get involved in that, but we'll see. Ben Mathurin's a player that I've loved basically since he was drafted. I love the mindset of Ben Mathurin. I think he has that dog mentality, and they really do want to see, especially before a contract extension, is he ready to take that next step in his game? And if he is, what does that look like when Tyrese Halliburton comes back, right? Which is really good for that one. So while Nembhard did not return in the second half against the Thunder, he had that left shoulder soreness. We'll see what ends up happening for the rest of the game, right? For the rest of this opening week for Nembhard. Ben Mathurin is definitely somebody, if you take what he did in that first game, he definitely deserves to be in those talks. And then my boy, and not just because I'm a Bulls fan, but this is how the national media is talking about him as well. Matas Buzelis is a player that I feel like the talk around him has grown a lot since the offseason. Seeing how he finished the season, a 21-year-old multi-tool forward that can do a little bit of everything. He opened up his season with a 21-point game in a win over the Detroit Pistons for the Chicago Bulls. 21 points, 3 blocks, one assist, 6 rebounds from him as well. He got to the free throw line 7 times. And these are the players that right now are the betting favorites to be most improved player. Now, that doesn't mean that that's it. Some other players could definitely get in that talk. For Matas Buzelis, for example, it's been 20 years, basically, since the last time a player in their second year won most improved player of the year, right? So it has happened before, but it's a rarity to happen. And not just because that's my guy, because I'll tell you what, like, I think Ben is going to have more opportunity than Matas once Kobe White comes back, but we'll see. But Matas's case, I mean, it really comes down to how well he attacks it. He has a team and a system, but Ben Mathurin has the opportunity. And Amen Thompson is going to have the team that's probably going to win the most games out of any of these teams, and we'll see what happens there. And he's going to be in a prominent role on national TV a lot. So all these guys have their different cases for it. I want to hear from you guys, though. Hearing these 4 players, Andrew Nembhard, Ben Mathurin, Amen Thompson, Matas Buzelis, who do you think is going to have the best shot? Who would you bet on to win Most Improved Player of the Year? Let me know that down below. That's my time for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything basketball related. I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video later today. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.